Chapter 4. Into the Deep. Pearl began to move forward, carefully examining every corner of the house. Her steps were more determined now. She was after something, and that something was getting closer with each passing second. Shadows began to surround her. But this time they weren't just silhouettes. They seemed to take on a presence, following every movement. When he stepped into a room, he found the window closed, but it was even darker inside. The air had become intensely cold. Inside the house, a silence reigned, but it had taken on a frightening quality. As she tried to take a breath of air, the vapor that came out of her mouth disappeared immediately. Standing in the center of the room, Pearl turned her eyes in all directions. She moved towards the walls of the room, but something caught her attention. There was old, faint writing on the wall. She couldn't make out exactly what was written, but something was written. Putting his hands on the wall, he squinted and read it again. "The end of the road is here," it said, but it was all blurred and distorted. At that moment he felt a deep chill. What did it mean? The end of the road is here. He muttered to himself. The room was as silent as a tomb. There was such a deep unease that he decided to retrace his steps. But at that moment something changed. He heard a crackling inside. Incy's body was immediately thrown back, and her heart began to beat rapidly. When she looked around the room, there was a distinct silhouette in front of the window. But before the silhouette disappeared, she noticed a glow, as if something was shining with her eyes. Pearl closed her eyes tightly and opened them again. The silhouette had disappeared, but the glow was still in her mind. Her curiosity was greater than her fear. She took a deep breath and stepped forward again. But something stopped him. It was as if a force was trying to pull him back. At that moment, the feeling spread through his whole body that everything would end, but at the same time everything would turn into a new beginning. Slowly he decided to leave the room. As she moved towards the hallway, the dusty marks on the old carpet caught her eyes. It was as if every step left a new mark. In this house, everything left a mark. At that moment she heard a voice. A whispering voice. But this time it was real, not just in his mind. Came slowly and deeply. "Before you go, you must go inside." Pearl followed where the voice came from. She decided to slowly put aside her fear. At that moment, she knew she had to choose between fear and curiosity. Taking one more step would take her even deeper.